Ooh, wow, it's a little warm today. Hey JDM fans and JDM EXPO followers, we've got this nice old Skyline. It's a 1983, it's a chassis code DR30, so it's part of the R30 line. Let's see if I can hear that turbo. Definitely gets up and goes. Luckily we have this 4-point roll cage. We also have the little chassis stiffening bar in the center, front and rear strut bars, so it's actually nice and responsive. A little bit softer being an older car, not fully built, but it's definitely got a lot of mods. This is part of the RS Turbo line. So it's one of the more sought after versions of this car. Stock is almost 200 horsepower, which in the 80s was pretty crazy already with a turbo engine. It's the FJ20ET. So, yeah. Actually, this has been overhauled recently, so it's in really great shape. So they got new pistons, new head gasket, and a bunch of other things done to it. I'm not sure about all of them, but we'll have some more details later. And I'll go through the transmission here. I'm already in second gear. You can hear the turbo spooling. So all 5 gears, no problems. I like hearing that turbo spool up. It's got a modified intake, a bunch of other mods, so it's breathing really well. It's got a catback exhaust and everything, so breathing really well. I'm not sure the exact power numbers, but it's definitely really pleasant to drive. I like hearing that though. Alright, and I'll get out of here in a minute and show you guys around. This thing's absolutely beautiful. Alright, here we have the Iron Mask, the R30 Skyline. And this one's the 1983. You can see the red and black trim, which is absolutely famous if you've ever seen Seibu Keisatsu, which is a Western police. It's actually a pretty awesome 80s show, and Nissan sponsored it, so they had a lot of these cars in the show. A bunch of Nissan vehicles were in that TV series. A lot of explosions, a lot of police action. Check it out on the link below. We'll have one of the little previews for their DVD. It's worth watching if you like old cop shows. It's kind of like Chips in the US, except in Japan, and having a bunch of Nissans. Alright, JDM fans and JDM EXPO followers, here it is, the R30. This is the RS Turbo. So this has roughly about 200 horsepower. This has a few mods, so they did up the power a little bit, so somewhere around 200 horsepower. Spools up really nicely, and you can even hear it too with the intake. But let's just, I'll show you the interior real quick. I mean, let me just show you a little bit more of the paint again. Oh, look at that shine. We even have this little antenna here that, you know, if you want to get more aero. And yeah, the interior on this is actually pretty nice. I mean, look at the dash too. If anything, that's just kind of surprising for an 80s car. It's a bit shiny, but can I get it? It's hard to get a good angle with this sunshine here, but hey, you can have a look here. Power windows all in the center here. They actually have an upgraded Panasonic Navi system, so that's installed. It's the Strada. Got the climate control here, which does work, by the way. I was using it earlier. There's the mileage. Nice Tomei gauges there. And they did update this a little bit around the cluster area. We get the Nardi Torino wheel. And we got that center brace that I was talking about earlier. So it wouldn't be the most comfortable if you had some passengers there. You just kind of put your feet over it, be careful. We have the 4-point roll cage here. Goes in the front and around. But yeah, look at that. Really plush. Oh yeah, and then there's also the remote there. Has a holder for the Navi system. Alright, so here's the trunk space. Pretty basic. It's a trunk. And like I did mention though, well, you can't see it through the trunk, but through the top here, where the speakers are and everything, you can see the strut bar for the back. And they did update this with LEDs and stuff, so there's all sorts of LEDs around there, so it has been updated. That nice lip spoiler. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the Kakimoto Racing exhaust. I did mention it was modified, but not what brand it was. I forget what brand these wheels are, but I believe they're 15s, wrapped in Yokohamas, slightly stretched. So actually, it's more square on there, but we have lots of. Well, not really lots of. We actually have a nice drop on here, so it's got a really nice gap there. So it is a modified suspension. RS Turbo. And so the FJ20 ET, it's a nice motor. Alright, and let's have a look under this iron mask and see the FJ20 ET. So it is a genuine turbo, but it is definitely modified. We have a front mount intercooler here, right there. We got the radiator right there. I guess it's the AC condenser. And we do have HKS air filter and a refurbished air meter. So a lot of this was actually tuned for performance. You can see a little gritty stuff there. A lot of vacuum lines, silicon hoses. And we do have upgraded spark plug wires and ignition system. We do have blow-off valve. Fuel pressure regulator, is that? Or is that just a meter? It's got a list of mods. We'll have that in the description. Other than the recent rebuild, I'm not entirely sure about all the other mods though. It's running nice and smooth. And you can see here on the chassis, the R30. We'll have pictures on the website as well, so really nice. Oh, there it is, FJ20. Whew. And that's not light at all either. The overall car though is light. It's 2,500 pounds, roughly just under 1,200 kilograms. Is that like 1130 or something like that? Oh, look at that shine though. This is like, even though it's like early 80s, this is like peak 80s style. The boxier cars, the R30 and R31. But definitely, like I said, check out that Western Police or Seibu Keisatsu. Oh my god. You get to see a bunch of these flaming, burning out and everything. It's awesome. Action-packed. Now that we have her up on the lift, let's have a look underneath. And you can see some of the suspension over there, the components for the coilovers. And we have the axles and rear diff. And I mean, considering the age, this is pretty surprising how clean it is under here. I mean, just other than some little water spots and dust and dirt, not seeing any crazy rust areas or anything. I mean, you can see this aftermarket exhaust here. A couple of scrapes since it is definitely really low, but you can see the chassis and all the suspension components. Everything's been in pretty good shape. I mean, when it's dropped like this, I would expect some dings on the exhaust. Yeah, it looks like a little bit here on the cat. Here's the front bumper. Now they do have a plate here, which of course it is a little bit lower for this cooler here. So it is pretty low, except you can see with the intercooler in this one, pretty much gets air directly in, and then here you can see it just doesn't really go anywhere here, just flows right through. Yeah, for the wheel well area, I'm surprised it's actually in this condition, since it's quite old. And you can kind of see how the exhaust and everything sit back there. So other than in the center area where you see a couple of those nicks, the chassis itself is in really good shape underneath here. One last walk through. All right, guys. Oh man, it's a little bit bright. It's warming up, so actually pretty nice. Hopefully it's warming up where you guys are with all that springtime goodness. But yeah, this here, the R30, really nice. You know, it's really funny because even when you're driving it a little bit, some little creaks and stuff from the different vinyl and the plastics and stuff from an 80s car. You know, it smells fine inside, but it's kind of like that 80s older upholstery, so I'm just all like, it's cool. It does have R32 seats, so R32 seats and R32 transmission. Boom, almost forgot about that. That's very important because the other mods and stuff, you know, it really does put down the power really well. So it's nice and smooth, so a bit smoother than the earlier 80s stuff, so it's got that late 80s, early 90s R32 transmission. Get that performance that you need. So yeah, I love the way that this looks though. This is the Iron Mask, guys. So I'm actually surprised we don't get more of these, or, well, I mean, it is kind of rare, but we don't get enough inquiries on cars like this. I think if people knew about Seibu Keisatsu, they'd probably get more of these, or at least any of the old R30s and R31s. So actually we have had a couple over the past year, but not as many as the other cars. You know, obviously everyone wants their Supras and Skylines. Oh, these are good though. Look at this stance though. I mean, jeez. And these have been legal for a while to import to the States, but I know probably just on the rarity part alone, it's not as cheap as other cars that you might want to be bringing back to the States or to any other territories. Some of the more die-hard JDM fans, this is for you, really. If you're interested in this or any other vehicles, make sure to inquire info@jdm-expo.com and drop us a line and we'll see. We also have a WhatsApp and we have other contacts on our website. So Yeah, if you're interested in this, make sure to hit the link in the description. Check out our catalog, check out our other inventory, and we'll have this and some other JDM adventures. We have a couple other classics coming down the pipeline here. We'll have some more inventory here shortly, so I'll make sure to do some exciting runs with that. But hope you guys like how this looked underneath and on top. I mean, for an 83, this is pretty exciting, and we just got that new overhauled engine. We got fresh head gasket, fresh pistons in there, and that's got a lot of life in it left, so you could definitely enjoy this classic. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button or check out these other videos. See ya.